Before we get into today's video, I just need to remind everyone I'm not a financial advisor. You must do your own due diligence. Please take today's video as entertainment only. Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Something that happens by chance, I think not. What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Wholesale. I hope you are all well. Sun is shining, feeling good, guys. Another stock market week ahead. Apologies for not getting a video out yesterday. It took a bit of a long weekend to have a few beers and to watch a wee bit of WrestleMania. Yeah, hope you all enjoyed that. If anyone that checked it out, I didn't find it too bad myself now. But we're back with a video, and today's video is actually an update video on a stock that I previously talked about. FAR, ticker symbol, ferro-alloy, the name of the company. And I've done a video a couple of weeks back on it, sort of saying it was in the mining sector. They're doing great mining in Damian, which is a big product that I believe is going to be great for battery storage going forward. So I've done a video on them and got some feedback. And today's video is actually an update because we've got a producer presentation that came out that I feel like it's worthwhile going over again. And also, well, let's see how the investments went over the last 3 weeks. Before we get into it, though, if you can please like, please subscribe, grow on the channel, all that good stuff, guys. It really does help me out. We're like 14 people away from 1,000. I'm pretty confident that we're going to hit that 1,000 mark this week. So thank you to everyone that has subscribed. Anyone new to the channel, please help our brother out. Also, you can check out the links in the bio description below. You'll see links not only to my writer articles, which I've done a few of them now with writers. They're a good read, guys. But I have also got a link for free trade where you and I both get a free share up to £200 for free, guys. It's worth checking out that link, having diversity and all that good stuff. Also, you can also see this week's Twitter poll. It is now live on Twitter. 4 new juicy stocks that have been brought to my attention. I put into the vote. You decide which one wins, and then I will put that to a video for you next week. We still have last week's winner to come up, and I'm going to do that video. Probably get that out maybe on Thursday for you. So, look, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, guys, so if we just go to the chart, sort of talk about my history. So I opened up my position on St. Patrick's Day, roughly around the 17th of March. I opened it up at this price, literally, and then I got it up, and then because it was St. Patrick's Day, I had a few drinks with me, all that jazz. I actually looked out and did a bit of a day trade on it, sold out for, I think, something like stupid, like a tenner profit. I don't even know why I did it, to be honest. But it went back down anyway, bought back in and around the 23, about a £50 or something like that, and then, of course, typical, the next day it shot right up. Didn't like that there, tried to time it. I got a bit more money phased in. Long story short, about £160 has been phased in over the sort of 3-day period from the 17th to the 19th. And as you can see here, it's just went, it's just constantly went up. And then when I was going back down here, I set my price alert day, trying to get it in around 23 because I knew that was kind of the levels of Patrick's Day that I bought. And unfortunately, it just never triggered. It started going back up and so on and so forth until we're at pretty much all-time highs on this here. And if you can actually pull it out, I'll explain why I was a wee bit reluctant to pump the money in. So you can see here, it was going along nicely. And as we talked about in the previous video, on the 15th, it just took a rocket. And also, if you check out all my other battery mining stocks, the ones that I talked about, for example, Vision Lithium, Aqua Metals, I bought these things right at the peak, not knowing that they were the peak. I mean, obviously, I wasn't to know this. I was hoping that they were going to go on more, but they'd fallen down. Vision Lithium is a prime example. It's nearly down to the lows, back into the real lows, and you're not able to buy any more stock on it. So I was a bit worried about that. Aqua Metals is the same. Bought it at around $5, averaged in a bit. But it's down to $350, and I've pretty much a maximum of about £600 in there, a wee bit more than what I actually wanted, but I'm conscious of that average price. So yeah, I guess those lessons kind of put the fear into me a bit. Just take your time, phase in the money. And so far, to be fair, on the other stocks that I've done, that's worked out well. But the ones that I've been burned on, where I've loaded up on, this one I felt I'll phase the money in. And this is actually one where if I had to just pump the money in, it actually would have worked out well for me. But hey ho, spreading the risk across all the different ones and doing that sort of approach, I believe, will still safeguard me from any more gapings. So you don't want to end up like Ian Beale.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
So yes, the price has gone up nicely. We're still a ridiculous 45p a share. I mean, it's so cheap. Do I think the stock still has legs? Hell yeah. But as you can see here in the charts, over the last 3 months, especially the last month, it's had a 341% rise, 7% in a week, and even yesterday 8%. So it has had a good rise. Could I see it pull back? Potentially. And I'm willing to load up on it. So that's why my investment is only around £150, £160, because I still foresee me putting in a minimum of £150 back into these guys. But I'm content to let this sort of period ride out, and we'll see where it settles. Keep phasing in the money in. But we've got our user presentations came out today, which we'll go through now, which is perhaps why it's got a wee bit more of a horn over the last sort of week. Okay, so you can download this off ferro-alloy's website. I'm going to go through the main highlights of this here. So this came out on the 28th of March. So you're sort of talking 2 weeks ago. I've read through it actually only about a few days ago. It was brought to my attention, and I just felt to myself, well, look, it's maybe worth updating the shareholders, especially on the recent rise that we've had of ferro-alloy. So let's go down. So look, I'm not going to talk too much about all the previous stuff. I did mention that in the previous video that I was keen on it because it was vanadium. It was another type of battery material, and I felt that it was giving me a wee bit more diversity in the whole mining sector that I'm trying to play in. So key things that I liked is the fact that it is on the London Stock Exchange. You can deal with it in my currency, which is pound sterling. Different country, it's different material, so there's a different diverse situation with ferro-alloys that I do like. So the key thing about vanadium is it's a green metal. Micro-alloy reduces world steel requirements and a huge new market as a battery metal. Okay, so the battery metal thing we've talked about strongly in the last video, so I'm not going to talk too much more about that. But the micro-alloy reducing world steel requirements, this is key because there is a huge increase in steel prices. Again, I'm a quantity surveyor, and talking about some of the issues that we're having is for the likes of the aircon systems, heating systems, the steel for all that is significantly increased. So the price is dearer. So if you can reduce steel requirements, that's obviously going to be of an advantage. And the micro-alloy, which I did touch about in the previous video, offers a solution for the steel issues that we have currently. Okay, so we're talking about the investment. So Vision Blue Resources has made a long-term strategic investment in them, led by Sir Mick Davies. They've done a solid multi-stage strategic investment. 3.1 million in initial investment off the bat, 1.5 million in equity, and 1.6 million in convertible loan notes. Second stage is up to 7 million further investment after the consent from the government of Kazakhstan is achieved, expected within 3 months. Okay, so that's the next big catalyst that I really want to draw your attention to. So we've got to keep a close eye on this, guys. But in the next quarter, we're expecting to see Kazakhstan sign off on this, and if they do, they get an injection of $7 million. And you better believe that $7 million gets pumped into the stock of this size. The next minute, all you're going to see is based on that, then you'll get a further 2.5 million investment within 2 months of the completing of the feasibility study. Feasibility study is very, very early stage concept study, so that'll be 9.5 million, but that is all achievable. Main catalyst will be the Kazakhstan sign off. You've done the feasibility study. Everything that they're talking about is proven to be feasible, hence a feasibility study. The construction funding rights to invest up to 30 million at a higher agreed share price to fund construction, right to invest a further 10 million at 25p and 20 million at 78p. Okay, so we're talking about share dilution here, potentially to raise further funding. It's down the road a bit, but that's still very, very good, and this ideally for a long-term hold is exactly what you want to see in here. But there's a big catalyst here in this stage too. The next one's just about vanadium, which we talked about in the previous video. I'm not going to talk about that. All of this here is also talked about it. What I will also say is, in my other videos we've been talking about lithium, we've touched on cobalt, and we've touched on nickel. What I would like to talk, and we're talking about vanadium now, we've also talked about lead. Indium and graphite is the next two that are on my list. So anybody out there that's got potential big stocks that you think is worth looking into those sectors, please let me know. But that is the key sort of videos that I'm looking to get into next. Bit of an interesting vanadium price history point. Okay, so it has had previous highs based on the demand obviously in the market. 05, 06, right at the very, very peak here, and then I had a bit of a resurgence in 08 again, and then we've done really nothing. It's went sort of sideways till November 18, so that's 10 years, guys, of it going quite sideways. and obviously the companies like this here is dictated by the price of the market, and they don't set the prices for these materials. It is the market. So it went down low. We're at pretty much lows again. So it's in terms of even just that, even if you don't believe that vanadium is going to have much of a battery situation going forward, which I think you'd be foolish. Hence, vanadium has got a unique property. Okay, yes, it might be heavy, which is a bit of a disadvantage. The main thing is it can store the longest type of energy, which is very interesting. You think about the big semi trucks, things that need to go longer distance. Vanadium could be an option potentially for that. But this is going to go. I could bet you my life on it. It's going to go up. Like, you can just tell by the price chart, you're getting in at a good price. I believe that vanadium will definitely make you a nice return in the next 5 years. And then it goes into more details about the existing site. You can go through here and you can see the laboratories, the site itself. So you can see the deposit sites. This explains again why there's a huge cost difference over other producers and projects. And we'll just talk about this again, why this matters. No need for high temperature roasting. No need to pre-concentrate the ore. High recovery, valuable byproducts. It reduces capital and operating costs by around 60%, reduces operating costs by around 60%, destined to be the world's lowest cost producer. To talk about a few other things, and the key thing I like to point out is that it's already infrastructure and transport links is all there. Very, very key that all that's there, so it won't cost too much to get this up and running. If you just look at the price difference here, that they're quoting $1.54 versus $3.48, that's one hell of a saving, look. So if we go on the business line, we can see this article today. Indian metals and ferro-alloys bullish on spike in ferrochrome prices. Only out today, April 13th, specs profit in Q4 and financial year 21 and Q1 of the current fiscal. Indian metals and ferro-alloys limited expects a surge in profitability in the fourth quarter and the first quarter of the current financial year due to a spike in ferrochrome prices. So again, ties into the steel issues that I've been talking about. Ferrochrome prices have been firming up steadily on the back of reduced raw material supply and an anticipation of picking up in demand from the stainless steel industry. Production of chrome ore, which goes into making ferrochrome, was impacted due to the COVID-induced lockdown, thereby pushing up prices. Again, more people just reporting that Indian metals and ferro-alloys rewarded shareholders with an exceptional 337 total return on their investment. So if we go into the metal bulletin, then we can also see ferro-alloy prices forecast to remain elevated through Q2 2021 on supply shortfall and rising demand. So again, just talking about all the stuff I had done there, it goes into more detail and I'm not going to go through it, but it's all very, very positive. That's the video. If you're new to ferro-alloys and you want to know about more, do go into the archives, check out my previous video. I go into a lot more depth about why I am bullish about this whole EV play and all that kind of jazz, but this is a good update. I'm very happy with the return that I'm getting on ferro. Yes, it would be nice to have got my full stake in before I went on a bit of a throb, but hey, such is life. It's still nice that it's up. I am holding this long term, but I am very, very tempted to do maybe a bit of a swing trade on this as well. I'm tempted to maybe load up to see if I can get a bit of initial rise. Ideally, what I would like to do is maybe put in another £200 right now to see if I can get maybe a 20, 30, 40% rise out of that, and ideally then be able to take out £100, £150 of that money, sort of leave in about £200, £250, and ideally it'd be the house money. If I can do a bit of jiggery pokery here and get a wee bit of luck, maybe get it up 50, 60%, I would be tempted then to take out my money and just leave the house money in, and that will be for the long term. Maybe a bit of a swing trade to be done in that. Either way, it's a long hold, and I want to have at least £300 in these guys a long hold. It fits into my battery portfolio, where you can go on, and at the end of this video I will have my link to that playlist. You can go on and check out all the different types of ones that I've been looking into. Like I said, my idea is spread the load across many different wee gems, all have maybe a unique selling feature, but they're all in the right sector in terms of mining and EV plays and battery plays, and the idea will be that sector will throb, and hopefully out of the dozen or 2 dozen that I find and pick, out of all of them, there'll be plenty of good winners, and that's what I'm trying to do, guys. So please leave your comments, please leave your thoughts below. Don't forget, add me on the Instagram, BHSDMV, for that. Also, like and subscribe to the channel. Please hit the alert button as well while you're there. Stay up to date with all the videos that are coming out, and until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in. Love yous all. Peace.
Yeah, coincidence. Something that happens by chance, I think not.